I'm Cath and this is Made by Cath Craft. Welcome to my Sew Upcycle 23 reveal video. So as you might know, recently I've been getting involved in a challenge that's been running here on YouTube and over on Instagram, and it's a sewing upcycling challenge and it's called #SewUpcycle23. It's the second year of this challenge running and I got involved last year and really enjoyed it. I'll link my last year's upcycling videos down below in case you fancy having a watch of those and seeing some of my older upcycling projects. But this year I've really enjoyed getting stuck in again. And I'll put up a slide so you can see all the details of the challenge in case you didn't watch my upcycle plans video. The basic premise of the challenge is to pick either an old garment, like an old ready-to-wear garment or handmade garment that you want to upcycle and maybe change to make it work better for you. Or you can get something from a charity shop that you want to upcycle, or something like an old bedsheet or an old curtain or something like that. And then through the month of October, you had to transform it into a new garment and then share it on Instagram on the 31st of October, which is today, under the hashtag SewUpcycle23, and tagging the two ladies who are hosting the challenge, which is Karen, who is So Little Time, and Becky, who's Notes in the Sewing Room. I'll link them both down below. And yeah, it's just a really fun challenge, I think, and quite thrifty, making better use of something you already have. And also I think it gets you thinking creatively because it's not the same as getting a new pattern and sort of cutting out a new piece of fabric and following the instructions. You have to think a little bit outside the box and kind of figure out yourself how you want to change the garment. So I've had a lot of fun, again, getting involved this month. So in this video, I'm going to be talking all about my upcycling project that I completed in October. I'm going to share pictures before and after and talk a little bit about all the sort of changes I made to it. But as usual, I'll start this video off with what I'm wearing today. So it's really gone quite wintry all of a sudden here in the south of England. So I'm definitely starting to reach my cosier handmade garments. It's actually quite sunny outside today, but it's due to rain a little bit later. And as it's October 31st, we're hoping to go trick-or-treating. So my family and I have all got our fingers crossed the rain holds off until after we've been able to get out and do some trick-or-treating. So yeah, fingers crossed. But I definitely reached for a cosy outfit today, and I've got on a handmade sweatshirt and also a handmade skirt. I will talk about the sweatshirt first. I made it using a pattern that I don't often mention when it comes to my favourite sweatshirt patterns, but actually I think it's one of my most worn sweatshirt patterns. I've got a few versions of it and I really love it. So I should talk about it more. It is this pattern here. It is the Nina Lee South Bank sweater and sweater dress pattern. It's a really nice drop-shouldered, funnel-necked sweater and sweater dress pattern. It's designed to have a slightly oversized fit. It's got 3 different versions built in. This cropped version here, which I've got a couple of versions of that one in sort of plain colours. I've got a navy and a black version. And I really love layering them over dresses. I think they work really well like that. Or you can make this version here, which is more of a classic sweater. And this one, they recommend you can also try and like a lighter weight fabric, like a sort of viscose jersey and that sort of thing. And it can make quite a nice sort of more lightweight garment to tuck into a pair of trousers or something like that. Or you can make this very cozy sweater dress. I've got a couple of versions of this in like a fleecy back sweatshirt and that sort of fabric. And they're definitely dresses I reach for when the weather's got really cold, and I usually pair them with a thick pair of tights. So yeah, it's a really cute pattern. The version I'm wearing today is a bit of a mashup of a couple of the different versions. I've gone for a classic sweater here, but instead of just finishing with a hem at the bottom, I've added on a bottom band. So I think I borrowed the bottom band from the dress. I might have had to resize it slightly, but essentially I borrowed that bottom band and added it on to give this version a bit more of a sweatery feel and less of a top feel, I guess. So I'll stand up a bit so you can see. I've got it tucked in at the front because I thought it'd look quite nice like that with my skirt, but you can see the sweater band at the back. And yeah, I made this version in a lovely jacquard knit fabric that I got a few years ago now from Guthrie Garney. It's one of those fabrics I saw and just bought straight away because I thought it was really lovely. So it's a jacquard knit, so it's got an interesting sort of texture inside. I'll try and show you. You can see all the different sort of thread colours inside, how they've been woven together. And it's got this sort of marley look to it. This sort of a main sweater in this sort of grey or ecru maybe colour. I think it maybe was called ecru. And these cute little stars all over it. And I actually made a little mistake when I was sewing this. I put the what do you call it, sort of funnel neck in upside down, so the stars are pointing the other way to the rest of the garment, but I don't think it's too noticeable, so I've never taken the time to sort of unpick it and put it on the right way up. But yeah, I really love it. It's really nice and cozy, and I actually think I made the size larger than my bust size. I think I made a size 8, which is the right size for me on the waist and hips, and my bust would put me as a size 6, but I quite like the extra room actually, because I've got it layered over a t-shirt today, and I did want to make it as more of a sweatshirt for layering rather than a slightly more close-fitting top, so it works quite well for that. And also this jacquard isn't the stretchiest fabric ever, so I don't think you'd want this too close-fitting. I think it'd be really hard to get on. So yeah, that's what I've got on top. I really love this print. It always makes me feel quite happy to have this one on. And then the skirt I'm wearing is a slightly more recent make. It's a denim skirt that I made using this pattern here, which is the moss skirt pattern by Grainline Studio. I've made this pattern a few times. I really like it. I think of Grainline Studio as doing quite simple, clean lines to all their patterns. And this is quite a nice basic skirt pattern that I think works really well for a sort of wintry skirt. It's got this fly front zipper and these slash pockets. And at the back it's got a yoke, which is quite nice for adding a bit of shaping there. And you can either make this mini skirt version or a slightly longer version with this feature bottom band. And I've made this version a couple of times in sort of chunkier corduroy fabrics, and I love getting them out in winter. But for this denim skirt version, I wanted to make just a really basic version here without the bottom band. Although I have lengthened my skirt actually a little bit from this version straight from the pattern envelope, because it is quite short, this mini skirt. So I just lengthened it a little bit. But I just made it in a denim. I don't think it's a stretch denim. I can't remember where I got it from. I think I got it from Guthrie Garney actually, because I remember phoning them and they helped me decide on the top stitching colour that would go well with the denim and give it kind of a classic denim skirt look. But I'll stand up it so you can see it. I don't know whether you can see the top stitching on screen there. I went for kind of a brownie colour that's kind of subtle and but kind of a denim top stitching, but not too in your face like bright orange. And I added on a jeans button. And in terms of sizing, I sized down one size on my waist because this skirt is designed to sit just below the natural waist, but I wanted mine to sit more on my natural waist. And then I went with the sizing per the pattern for my hips. So I've gone for a size 0 on the waist and a size 2 on the hips. And it fits me nicely. It is quite a close fitting skirt, but that's what I wanted. I hadn't got just a really basic, simple denim skirt in my wardrobe. So that's what I wanted when I made this. And actually, I haven't worn it a lot. I think I might have made it maybe just before the summer. And I didn't really reach for it in the summer just because it's a bit bulkier around the waist maybe than some of my lighter weight summer skirts. I maybe reach those in preference this in the summer. But now the weather's getting a bit more cold and yeah, it's quite nice to reach this one. I'm looking forward to styling it up in different ways. I just thought I'd try it with this South Bank sweatshirt this morning and I quite like it with this, but I think it would go nicely with other things in my wardrobe too. So I could definitely see myself getting more out of this denim skirt this year. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on and see the length I went for on the skirt too. So that's what I'm wearing today, but I'll move on now to sharing with you my Sew Upcycle 23 completed upcycling project. So if you watched my Sew Upcycle 23 plans video, which I released early in October, and I'll link it up above, you'll know I had plans to upcycle 2 garments for Sew Upcycle 23. One was a handmade dress that I made a couple of years ago and I really hadn't worn at all since I'd made it, so I was hoping to change it to turn it into something that I would actually wear. And the second one was a ready-to-wear garment that I had worn quite a bit a long time ago, but trying it on now, it didn't really feel me and I wanted to hopefully turn it into something that would suit me a little bit better. And actually, in the end, in October, I only completed one of those upcycling projects. So one project is still outstanding and I'm hoping to tackle it at some point, but it's a job for the future. And that is the handmade dress, which I've made using this pattern here, the New Look 6682. So here is that dress. It's still intact. I made it in this black viscose fabric. And yeah, I would still like to do something with it, but I just didn't get around to it in October, unfortunately. But I did upcycle my ready-to-wear dress. And I'll put a picture up of that dress so you can see what it looked like before I took it apart and changed it a little bit. So it was a blue maxi dress I got a few years ago when that was quite a in style, I guess. And when I tried it on now, it just didn't feel like it was fitting right. It felt a bit too tight across the hips, and as you can see from the picture, it didn't really reach like properly down. It wasn't a full maxi, but it didn't really feel like a midi either. And the hem was a little bit wonky, I think, through having been washed a little bit. It's gone a bit out of shape. So it felt like a fun project to try and make it into something that just felt like it was less tired and old, and maybe just give it a bit more life. So that was my plan. So what I decided to do was I decided to crop it off. So I cut the dress at just about my natural waist. I cut it off, and then I really hoped that if I borrowed the bottom a bit of the skirt, I could gather it in and turn it into a shorter dress with a gathered skirt. And I hoped I'd have enough space around the bottom of the skirt to gather it in, and it wouldn't look like it wasn't gathered enough, if you know what I mean, because it wasn't the widest skirt ever, because it's designed to be a bit more of a close-fitting maxi dress. So I chopped it off, and then I was left with a piece of fabric in the middle because I wanted to bring it up, and I thought if I use the bottom there'll be a bit more fabric there to gather in, and also the hem has already been done for me, so yeah, I could kind of leave that. So I cropped it off and I gathered it in, and here is my updated dress. So as you can see, I've turned it into a little above the knee dress with a really nice gathered waistline that sits maybe just above my natural waist I planned it to be. And I'll show you the inside of the dress so you can see what I did here. I basically created an elastic channel and threaded a piece of 1 centimetre wide elastic through. I guess it would have gathered naturally anyway because the top is quite fitted, but I thought that would just make it a little bit more secure around the waist. And I've got other dresses I've made and added an elastic channel. I really like how that fits. So that is what I did. And luckily there was enough fabric, so it's quite nicely gathered, I think, here. There was enough width of fabric at the bottom of the maxi skirt. And I kind of made sure I cut the pieces so that the hem now looks a bit more level than maybe it was before. Or I think maybe once I cut it, actually, it just kind of sort of naturally leveled itself once I'd measured it out. So it feels like it's all a bit smarter and newer, and yeah, I really love how it's turned out, and I think it feels much more me now. I love a dress with a gathered skirt. It's something I reach for a lot, and I can see this being a perfect throw-on dress in the summer, really nice and comfy and easy to wear. So I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like having been upcycled. So it's quite a simple upcycling project and quite fun, and I did feel a bit nervous sort of cutting into the fabric, so I thought, what if I wreck it, because the maxi dress I can still wear, but actually it feels a lot more flattering on me now. I'll put a picture as well so you can see a before and after and compare the two dresses. And yeah, I really love how it looks now. And actually, because I had that little piece of fabric left in the middle from sort of chopping out the middle part of the dress, I had just enough of it to cut out a pair of knickers using my favourite knickers pattern, which is the Iris knickers pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. I haven't sewed them up yet. I've just popped them in the pattern envelope with the Iris knickers, and next time I do a batch make of some knickers, I'll sew up a pair, so I'll have a matching pair of knickers in royal blue too. So it was nice to use up pretty much all of the fabric, and it felt nice and thrifty. So it was quite a fun, speedy little upcycling project, and I really enjoyed giving it a try. I am a bit disappointed that I didn't end up getting around to updating that one. I know a lot of you wanted to see what I was going to do with this one, but I am still hoping to do something to it to make it work better for me. So that is hopefully something I'll be able to share in a future video. So that is my completed Sew Upcycle 23 project, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the transformation and hearing about what I did to make it work better for me. I really love the finished dress, so I'm glad I took the plunge and chopped it off and gathered it in and changed it a little bit. So yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome of that. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe and press the bell icon too, so you'll be notified of my future videos. I'm hoping to be back with another video this Saturday. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!